That was a couple seconds of silence for whom I believe the greatest president who ever lived, John F. Kennedy. It was 50 years ago today. The weather was pretty much, it was a little chilly, a little overcast, and I was in the 5th grade. I probably should have been in the 7th, but I failed. But I was in the 5th grade, I was at Stono Park Elementary School. And I remember the principal coming over the loudspeaker. Attention, attention, I have an announcement. And it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I remember, shit, no math test. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated today. He was shot and killed in Texas. Being young, you know, I really didn't know too much. So I was like the other kids in the class, yay, no school, you know. I remember getting on the bus, and I remember the bus driver crying. I remember the bus driver saying, "But please, young'uns, show respect. A great man died today." I remember the bus ride was silent. Nobody said a word. Everybody was quiet. I remember getting off at the bus stop. I remember walking up to a house. We lived in a house, but we had a porch. I remember walking up to the porch. My mother was sitting on the porch. My mother was crying. Mom, what's wrong? Mama, please quit crying. What's wrong? I can see my mama now sitting on that porch. Son, we lost a great man today. We lost the greatest president this country's ever had. We lost a man who cared for everybody. We lost a man who wanted everybody to have equal rights. My mother sobbed. She grabbed me, she held me, she said, "Son, I don't want you to grow up in a world where people kill people just because they're different, they think different." My mom held me, she's close. I can still feel my mother holding me. I hear my mother talking about President Kennedy and what he meant to the country, what he meant to the individual, what he meant to people. I remember the TV. We didn't have 24-hour stations, but for those 3 days, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there was 24 hours, nothing but John Kennedy. I remember the Lee Harvey Oswald when they found him. I remember when they arrested him and they put him in, and it was like, the man who shot the president of the United States has been captured. I remember thinking to myself, he needs to die. I remember that Sunday when Jack Ruby, they even showed him talking to some of the reporters. And when Jack Ruby took his gun, when they brought Lee Harvey Oswald out to transfer him, I remember seeing Jack Ruby shooting Lee Harvey Oswald, and I remember, good, die! My mother, my father, crying because it ended a part of me, it ended a part of them, it ended a part of you. If 50 years ago, November the 22nd, 1963, is a day we'll never forget. I remember seeing the funeral, the procession. I remember them going to the cemetery. I remember them lighting the eternal flame, and that flame is never out. I swear to God, that was the greatest man that ever lived. You people get the way y'all do. Y'all don't. You young ones, you need to go look at your history books and read about Jack Kennedy, because he was the greatest president that ever lived. He was a family man. True, he had a problem with women. But name me one man that doesn't have a problem of some kind. I still see my mother on the porch. I still see her crying. I see her holding me. I see the Kennedys consoling Jacqueline. Mr. President, 50 years later, I still know where I was, what I was doing, and I remember what happened. God bless you, Mr. President. I know you're looking down on this country now smiling. Goodbye, Mr. President. That's all I got. Turn it off, please.